Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Vintage Explorer. My name's Kathy, Aunt Kathy to some, and I'm here with a great guest, and I want to take care of just a little bit of business first, if John doesn't mind holding on a second.
I do not mind.
Okay, well, Ashley couldn't be with us today, so our dear friend Wes Studevant from Skeptic Haven has agreed to pitch it for us in production, and I'm so grateful for that because, as you know, I'm technically challenged where all this stuff comes from. As far as any business, if you like us, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to chat with me, you can send me a message at vintageexplorerlife@gmail.com. And I like to plug things that are upcoming. On 9/18 is the Whiskey, Scotch, and Cigars to celebrate Oz's birthday. That'll be at 9 o'clock on 9/18 on Oz, not Oz's channel, on TANG, of course, on TANG. And then I have a conference I want to plug, and I have a selfish motive for that. The conference, excuse me, FFRF, Freedom from Religion Foundation. The national conference is October 28th and 29th at the Hyatt Regency Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas. And I would plug it anyway, but I have an extra special reason, and that's because my oldest grandson is going to be speaking there, and I'm so proud of him. So anybody that's out there, please say hi to Ethan. You'll get to hear him first, and then you can talk to him and let him know his grandma loves him. Or I'm Meemaw, so Meemaw loves him. That's the national conference for FFRF, October 28th and 29th in San Antonio. How I wish I could be there. I want to redefine for us one more time. I think I'm going to do this every show. An atheist is a person who lacks belief in the existence of God or gods or the supernatural. We are not a movement, a philosophy. We're not Satanists. I mean, since we don't believe in the supernatural at all. And we're not wicked, evil people. However, I may wonder after this show's over. Atheists are using their right to think critically and make the choice as to what they believe or don't believe. Oh my God, I knew it was going to be such a show. We are in a series called Atheists Are Real People Too. And what we're doing is we are exploring the life, the interests, and the hobbies of fellow atheists. And today we have a character. I call him a little scruffy. That's my nickname for him. Many of you don't know, but many years ago, I used to be a barber. And man, would my clippers like to get a hold of John.
I was clean cut a year ago.
Well, I tell you, if you're really going to do Santa Claus, you don't want to scare the children, John. So you need to be a well-groomed Santa. Go see my friends at, oh, I can't say that on air. Anyway, I'll tell you again where to go.
I got the link.
You got the link. Okay, we have John Hudson. And the reason I asked John to come on the show with me is he's intrigued me with several of the good posts on Facebook with things he's invented, how he's recycled stuff and made useful products out of it, and also the beautiful flowers that he shows often that are around his property. And I think he had a hand in planting a few of those. So, John, I'm just going to say, let's get busy and tell me, first of all, who is John and where were you born?
I was born in Page, Arizona.
Oh, so you're not a native Texan after all.
No. In fact, I've only been in Texas for 3 years.
Oh, really?
Lived in Utah prior to that.
Utah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Salt Lake City.
So that, you know, I've made it a point on this show to not go into discussions of religion and construction and deconstruction. However, you saying you lived in Utah, that makes me wonder, were you formerly a Mormon?
No, I'm a cradle atheist.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I had no clue.
Though my grandfather was a bishop in the LDS church.
Okay. So was your mom or dad involved in the church at all?
They were when they were forced to. After my mom left the service in 58, she moved to Greenwich Village and became a beatnik.
Okay.
And she came back to Utah, and my dad was rolling through. He worked on dams at the time, and met mom. Wanted to take her with her on the road, but wanted her to be an honest woman. They knew each other. They knew each other 10 days and were married till death did them part.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
They spent many years getting to know each other, obviously.
Wow. Well, and out of that, you were one of the products, huh?
One of them. One of many.
One of many. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There's 5 of us.
Okay. Brothers and sisters?
Two brothers, 2 sisters. I sit in the middle of them both. I got an older sister, older brother, younger sister.
Oh, you're smack in the middle then.
I'm in the middle.
Okay. So what kind of career did you have?
Oh, I worked in the concert industry and also the construction industry. The concerts was just a part-time gig. I worked as backstage and concierge for United Concerts out of Salt Lake City. Did that from early 80s to early 90s. And then I started in construction when I was 16 years old. Actually, started doing my first contract work at 16 years old. Got a contract to tie the iron for the meltdown tanks for Kennecott Copper Corporation. In 1978, I made $37,000, which at that time was more money than both my folks made together.
Yeah. You had a green thumb for that, for sure, didn't you?
I've never really worked for many people. I've created my own work. Though I did work for the University of Utah for a bit, but mainly I've worked for myself my entire life.
Did you have any post-high school education?
Well, yes, I actually, I didn't finish high school, but I went to school for a paralegal.
Okay.
And done some psychology courses and such too, but mainly paralegal. And when I finished that, it's like, and I never did finish it. I just realized one day I didn't want to work with people's problems every day. I want to solve problems, not make them.
Okay. Well,
And
so
so
then go
I got
ahead.
into the construction, and it just seemed logical too that I should be a realtor. So I went and got my real estate license, and I worked as a realtor and home builder for almost 20 years. Kept my real estate license until I got busted for growing marijuana, which I lost my real estate license over that. And then life was kind of different after that point in my life.
How so? Can you
Well,
share or no?
yeah, no, I worked for Salt Lake's Rich and Famous, which there's a lot of LDS in there. And when I got busted for growing weed, they
I can't imagine you doing that. Ha ha ha.
they splattered me all over the news with millions of different lies. Well, not millions, but many different lies.
Mm-hmm.
They were said I was caught with $100,000 cash. Another one, the neighbors couldn't smell the marijuana because he had tomatoes growing with him. But then then another news story says they could smell the marijuana from the streets. That's why I got caught. You can smell anything. I had so many sweet Elysium out front, and it was in the fall, and they are so damn fragrant in the fall. Nobody smelled anything but sweet Elysium. But anyhow, that's kind of what got me into actually being a little bit outspoken as far as being atheism, because my attorney tells me, well, you know what? If you could find some religion, it'll help you through all these the shit you're going to go through, buddy. And he goes, you don't have to practice it, but if you claim it, it'll win you favor.
Oh.
And so with all the court and stuff I had to go through, I had to go through counseling and such, and
Sure.
And then if you're part of Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, you're required to announce that there is a higher being, or you're skipping steps. And so, yeah, I bullshit my way through it. I never did believe it. But after it was said and done, I just like, damn, you get favor for being religious. You can be a criminal. But if you're religious, you're going to win favor with the courts, the PO officers, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody down the line. They're like, oh, Johnny found God. He's a good boy now. Like me being a chronic pot smoker at the time, like it was an evil thing. I self-medicated for 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of got me speaking out on, the atheism afterwards. It's like, I'm like, why should somebody get favor for what they believe in?
I agree with you. They shouldn't get favor for sure. So, John, why were you self-medicating? Can I ask?
I come from a long line of suicidal and manic depressive people.
Okay.
Yeah. My mother, I had to go see her institutionalized as a child on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom, when she was on her manic, oh my God, there was nobody more fun. She was,
Oh, I'm sure.
oh my God, the fun. But when she was depressed, uh, I don't believe in hell because it went through it with that,
Right. Right. So you and all of your siblings had this experience to share.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
how have all the siblings dealt with? Or you don't have to get into that really, John. That's
No,
kind of personal.
It is, but it's somewhat. My sisters are stable women. My other brother is kind of weird. He's got hair down to his ass, but he's a Trump-loving Republican,
Oh gosh.
and
Okay.
claims to be a Mormon. And then my younger brother, he shot himself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He lived through it.
My.
And it so totally changed his. He was mean. It was tough. It punch you in the face. He had a really bad personality, and coming out on the other side, I've never, he's so wise and just kind, and I love the shit out of him.
Good.
You know, he killed a
Good.
he killed a demon.
Oh, well, made a complete turnaround then.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
He's in a wheelchair for life, but you know,
but mentally he's doing okay, and you guys have a good relationship, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So when did you not when, but what did you do as far as in the concert area?
I worked backstage as a stagehand, and also worked as concierge.
Okay.
So what the bands wanted, I took care of them.
Okay. Do you play an instrument?
No.
Okay.
No. I sang in some garage bands back in the 80s.
Oh, the fun days.
I didn't play an instrument, but yeah, you know, I sang, and I can't sing, but damn, did I look good on stage.
So humble. I'm telling you, what a humble guy. So what kinds of, what got you interested in the things that you recycle? I've seen you do some recycling things here.
Yeah. And I brought some things that
Please.
Well, this is right here, Hummingbird Feeder, made out of a bottle, tied up with copper, put some beads on it, solder flower on the end, and it's a Hummingbird Feeder. It was garbage before. The wire and such came off a electrical job. My son's an electrician, and so it's recycled wire. The only part I bought was the stuff to cut out the flowers. And I used to recycle that because I did copper gutters, fascias, and soffits. And so when I was doing that, all my scrap metal went into that. I've made hundreds of these feeders.
Oh, really? Oh, good for you.
So
you have a little side business going, huh?
I don't yet, but I'm working on it.
Are you?
I'm working on it. I just, it's been a weird couple of years. We moved here. There's 3 generations. We're destroying the nuclear family. It's an experiment we're doing out here in Texas. but it's me, my ex-wife, my daughter, her husband, and 2 children. And we all get along famously.
That's wonderful. That's unusual to hear, but that's wonderful.
It works out. Melissa came out here in February of this year to help with the new baby, and she's been such help that we've asked her to stay.
Okay.
Their house is big, the kids' house. I live in a barn dominium.
A barn dominium. Okay, explain.
A room above a barn.
Oh, okay.
It's got a bathroom and a kitchenette. It's 500. It's less than 500 square feet. Which, coming from my previous life, it's been a change, and a good change. The minimalism just gave me freedom. I felt like I'd never, I was a slave to everything I had in Salt Lake City. It was 2,000 square foot home, living by myself, and it was done up way cool. I had a billiard room and a bar. It was its own little man cave.
The whole house was your man cave, huh?
Yeah, and then I had a 2-car garage, and then a 2-car detached garage, which was my studio and such. So I come from a large place into a small place. And when I left Salt Lake, I told the kids, take what you want. I'm selling the rest. I'm just going to take a few things that I need, And they took the things that I'm glad they took, because they're way cool antiques. And like my art glass collection is their art glass collection, and they've added to it. And it's really neat to watch them grow with things,
So what hobbies have you had for a long period of time, John?
Fishing. I actually even build fishing rods.
Interesting. Okay.
I had a business building fishing rods, which I've got fishing rods on 5 different continents. And
Really? Good
yes,
for you.
and it's something that that's one thing I brought with me. And I've got, I don't know, $40,000-$50,000 of rod building components sitting up in the shop up there. And I haven't built one in years, but the son-in-law, he's my son. No in-law, he's my son. Nick wants to know how to build fishing rods. And I think that's something I would like to teach Jack, my grandson. So I would, I'm gonna start doing that again. Just
Good for
not so,
you.
not so much for me, but for them to share the experience of it. There's nothing like catching a fish on a rod you made, with
Oh,
a lure you made, with a fly you tied. It's that it's rewarding. Oh,
I can't.
I forgot to tell you.
What?
I brought you flowers
Oh, John, how sweet.
since it's our first date. I went out and picked.
Oh, yeah, her first date. Okay. Oh, you're so sweet. You crazy man. With your fishing, I used to go fishing a lot with my dad and my grandpa, especially my grandpa, and I loved it. I loved going out on the boat. We'd go out to his fishing spot and catch crappie.
Ooh, yummy.
Yes, some good eating, and take them into grandma and she could fix them up.
Hell
And
yeah.
I couldn't clean them. I'd scale whatever fish needed to be scaled. I would scale them and then I had to leave. I couldn't watch the gory part, but I sure did like to eat them. So yeah, crappie's good eating.
My daughter's been fishing since she could walk, and I remember her gutting them open and start pulling out parts. Dad, this is the heart. This is
No thanks.
And I mean, just going through it. And when I'm cleaning them, it's a rip up, cut, pull out, throw away. She's going through it.
Oh, she's really dissecting. Oh goodness. So how many children do you have, John?
I just have one. I have my Phoenix. Yeah.
Your Phoenix. Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty name for a girl.
Oh, she's a beautiful woman.
Phoenix Rising. She's the mother of 2 children now, right? Didn't she just recently have a granddaughter?
Yes, babe Hadley Magnolia.
Ooh, Hadley Magnolia. When you were saying you wanted to teach your grandson how to do the fishing rods, I just had a quick flash of Duck Dynasty. Now I know you're building Fish Dynasty, or we'd have to come up with a really good name. Well, but I mean, the beard look, everything fits that image of a dynasty. You're building a dynasty.
We'll do it in reverse. We're not gonna bring up any religion or anything.
Oh no,
like that.
No, not at all. So, do you feel like some of the things that you do for your hobbies are really an expression of who John is?
Yeah, I'd say all of it is.
Okay. And how is that?
Well, it's just like, how is that? Everything that I find or make, a lot of things. One of my favorite things to do is finding things, and whether it's finding out about history, finding out about new science, just I think that goes hand in hand with it. Many of my art pieces, I take wrenches, I bend them into hooks, I weld nuts on them, and then I put them on board, and it's a coat rack, hat rack type thing.
Well, that's clever.
So my love of wrenching and that type of stuff, kind of brought me into that. My love of music is just something I cut out and painted. My love of music, make little wall hangers and such. Some of my paintings, it's about music.
I didn't know you painted too.
I do a little bit of painting. So that are the things I love. I love music. I listen to music all day long, and have for many years. Working in the concert industry, I got to meet some really cool people, do some really cool things. I played Frisbee with Howard Jones. I played baseball against Rush. Got a chat with Frank Zappa. I got a chat with Grace Slick. Uh, wanted to beat the shit out of Steven Tyler. He didn't want to go on stage because on the roster he wanted black towels, and I went from Salt Lake down to Orem all the way up to Ogden trying to find black towels for Steven Tyler. We was getting close to the show. I mean, I ran into the show like I ran into the show this afternoon with you. And I had dark brown towels. And he didn't want to go on stage.
Just because of the towel?
Yeah, they were brown. They were dark brown.
No. Well,
David Lee Roth, I had, or was it Steven Tyler? It was Steven Tyler again. I had to have 5 pounds of green M&Ms.
Green.
So,
what'd you do? Have to separate them all?
Yeah. And I was just as kind of paybacks. I licked my fingers as I'm eating some of the other colors and put green ones in for him. You want to be nice to people in life, I'm
sorry. Oh my goodness.
Really, you should be nice to people in life.
Yeah. Cheer your spit. Oh my goodness, that's hysterical.
This has been fun life, I'm saying.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. You've had a lot of variety of things you've done in your life.
Well, and then Sunday was always just a fun day for me. I never wasted a minute on going to church or anything like that. I feel fortunate for that. I never thought I needed anything like that to be a good person.
Good.
So,
yeah, you don't. You don't at all. Are you still involved with doing any construction at this time?
No, just what I've done for the around the place here. I am going to be turning. I'm going to be moving out of the barn dominium here. I've got a big shed back there that I'm going to turn into a house, and I got another shed that I'm going to turn into my studio, and they'll be right next to each other.
Okay.
And they'll just be a little like a little miniature cabin for Johnny out there. Good. And then I can give Melissa the barn dominium and for the and it pulls me a little bit further away from them because it's a big piece of property, but I'm still gonna be with them every day, so it'll be cool.
I think you enjoy being grandpa, don't you? Tell us about that.
Oh my God. I still love these kids. They're just every day, everything is a new experience with them. It's like the things Jack will say to me. He's like, well, just before he starts school, he was like, could I hack this government computers and mine cryptocurrency? This is a child going in first grade. And then just watching the baby. I was wearing my Grateful Dead shirt the other day, and it's got the different colored bears on it. And went to the bear, red, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, and just the amazement you get from watching a child learn, it's watching them grow. I want to be here for it all.
Oh, absolutely. Seeing them recognize things, and it's like it puts you back into remembering when it was all new.
Oh yeah, working on the truck the other day, and I'm underneath changing a gasket, and the grandson comes, lays out underneath there with me, grabs a wrench. Just that, he's not wrenching on anything really, but
right.
Just getting, yeah, wanted to be with Grandpa too.
That's sweet. That's neat.
Really, really fun, cool stuff.
Sometimes parents don't realize how much your kids imitate what you do, and find their enjoyment of being close to you and just being an imitator. And that's why we have to be so careful.
Yeah, that's true too. My daughter, I would have to say, the only trait that that she's most like me is that she really loves people. She's a people person. And I guess that's what's been hard on me since I came down here to Texas is, well, we moved into this place during a pandemic, and Texas is kind of weird as it is, and I'm extremely weird. So it's been it's been kind of hard to make friends and such too, because I haven't went back to work. I want to. I think, I don't know. I'm not ready for total retirement. I thought that's what I was doing when I came down here. When I moved,
that's a big decision. It's a big life change when you make that decision. That's it.
I've had enough around here because the house was vacant for 4 years. It was a probate thing, and we came in, and the bid on the place, the kids, they stole this place, and I just helped them with the financing to get it done and such. With the condition, what she told me is just be a stay-at-home grandpas, at that time.
Oh, that was nice. You and Jack.
Yeah. And so, we've had a great time out here, fixing the place up, painting, and the grounds were abominable, but it's come around, had to do a new well and different things. But it's pretty cool. We got 17,500 gallons of rainwater that we collect.
Oh my, that's quite a bit of rainwater. What do you do with it?
It's great for household use.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the shower in rainwater, soap just foams up, your hair, baby soft. It's awesome.
Then do you do your laundry in it? Dishes, everything?
Yeah, you can drink it.
So you've got it set up, a system all set up so you're self-sufficient, basically, when there is rain.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you solar?
We're working on that.
Okay.
It will be within the next 12 months, completely solar.
Awesome.
There are some solar features here, but we want to totally just kind of be off the grid that way.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome. And you've got lots of acreage around there, don't you?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's good time. One of the things I was talking about too is I like finding things.
Right.
Out off the back of the property, I'm always finding fossils. I found a shark tooth the other day, but I've got all these fossils that are off the back of the property from the Cretaceous period, and it's really fun. I take the grandson out, and we go looking for fossils. Some of the other things I found, like, is old bottles.
Neat.
Found this in a wall.
Oh, that in a wall. Okay, that's been around for a little while.
Yeah, that when it was tearing out a wall, I found that, and just some of the dumb stuff. I found this here.
I love old cans like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
found that in a dumpster behind an antique store.
Are you a dumpster diver too?
You know what? I love finding stuff. And if that's where the stuff's at, hell, I have no pride.
You'll go for it.
I'll dive into a dumpster.
So since you've been on the farm, the ranch, I'm sorry, you call it the ranch, don't you?
The ranch, the homestead, the farm, whatever. It's a big piece of property.
Have you found that you have had a change in your philosophy of life?
I'm not much of a philosopher.
Okay. Well, let me word it differently and say, how about, have you found that you changed how you live your life since being out there on the ranch?
Oh, yeah.
And what has been the biggest change for you in all that?
I don't fight with anybody. When I'm out here, and I was angry for a long time. I would fight at the drop of a hat. And I mean, literal fist fights with people. And I've had very few of them since I've been out here.
Well, you have very few people there too.
I do have to go. I do have to go into town occasionally.
Okay, I was teasing. Yeah, I'm sure there's I think I saw pictures of a Hudson bar or something.
Yeah, that's not mine, but it's a place down on Mercer Street, which is in downtown Dripping, and yeah, it's a cool little town.
And how far is that from Austin proper?
About what? 35 minutes.
Okay, Dripping. How old is Dripping?
I think there was a college that they built here. Like I want to say from 1838. And there was a little college that was here, which is now the Mason Hall. I haven't got a chance to really dig into all the history here, but it's got some history.
Well, I mean, you moved in and then COVID hit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you couldn't do a lot of looking around and meeting people that way.
Right. Yeah.
So now that seems to be lifting, is that part of what you're going to add to your adventures?
I don't know so much about the people. From books and stuff, is where I've got the information that I got, and then just exploring, constantly exploring.
Well, I noticed on Facebook last weekend, you posted some exploring you did. Was that in Dripping?
That was right in town, downtown.
Really? That's beautiful. That was beautiful. Beautiful scenery.
I'd never been there. I wanted to drop down into, I knew where the spring was, and I thought it was on the other side of the road. But that's part of the spring on the other side of the road. I knew that, but it's private property. And so I'm like, I wonder about the other side of the road. And went down there and dropped down there, and there was them stone bridges and pathways and such. And gorgeous. And saw fishies in the water, and it was exciting.
That was pretty good. Yeah. So what got you into the gardening part of your life?
It's just something always was brought up with. Mom always had wonderful flowers. And we did vegetable gardens and such, and I love fresh vegetables.
So do you have a pretty good sized garden out there now?
This year I didn't, just because we went into the season dry, and so I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for the rains. So I did some few things. I did some chilies and some different kinds of peppers and beans, cantaloupe, watermelon. I didn't do this year because they require so much water. We got water about 3-4 weeks ago, and it started raining and everything greened up. But generally in the spring, there's thousands of blackberries out there. Ooh. And they dried up before I ever got them. They flowered. It was looking great. And didn't get any. So
go ahead.
Just been struggling to keep the trees alive here. because it's such a big piece of property. I can't just like drag a hose over there and water it.
Right.
So I'm transporting buckets of water and watering them. I kept the trees alive. So it's, we had a really bad cold spell when we first got out here, and it killed off a lot of things. So, I've been cleaning up after that and then trying to plant new. It's had its challenges.
It sounds like it makes me think of a pioneer.
Kind of look like one.
Well, that's true. But I mean, the things that you've experienced, and I mean, just the fact that you recycle the rainwater and the things that most pioneers would think to do. I mean, I think it's very admirable that you're working towards being off the system. We don't realize how much we take for granted until we don't have it. And, in my little apartment, I freak out if the electricity goes off, I mean, I can't burn candles in this building. So I have to have my flashlights and batteries with me. And I'm one of these that will walk around with my phone, trying to find something, forgetting I have a flashlight on my phone.
Play some music next time that happens. It'll keep you calm. It'll help you.
Calm me down. Yeah. Cause I'm not, well, have you experienced some bad storms there?
Oh yeah. It went cold where everybody's water lines were froze around here, including ours. We lost a well at that time.
Oh dear.
The water lines from the cistern system up there, several of them cracked. I had to repair them, and in order to get the water on and such. So we didn't go without water for very long. Being a contractor, I had numerous PVC parts and such, and was able to repair my system. You went into the Home Depot in town and nobody had anything. So I was giving away parts and such to people that couldn't buy them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're just a handy guy, huh?
Yeah. Well, when I lived back in Salt Lake, the neighbors would come by because my one shop was like a Home Depot. Whatever you needed, screws, extra thermostat. I had hundreds of gallons of paint, different colors and such that would bring back from different jobs and such. And so if the neighbor wants to paint their house, they come over and get 10 gallons of paint from me. And
see,
like liquid nails, caulks, glues, silicones and such. I had cases of it.
Oh my.
And so, yeah, it was fun. And that was part of the part about growing pot that was so cool to me. It was never to sell. It was to give away to friends and to use myself, It was never about making money. And that's one of the things the courts, like, the newspapers and the television, $250,000 weed ready to hit the streets. I'm like, no, it wasn't that way. I was a golden child. I was making more money than I needed between me and the wife and the construction, the real estate. She worked in real estate too. Also had a full-time day job. I mean, we made money. It was never about, the weed wasn't about making money.
And too bad it wasn't legal then.
Yeah, too bad.
To do the medicinal stuff.
Well, I expect it. I would like to see a federal law change, and then anybody that, Wall Street, people are making millions off of weed now,
Oh, yeah.
And there's some people that are still paying the penalty for, having it.
Every state around Indiana, it's legal, but it's not here. I mean, just for medicinal purposes, if nothing else, and it's still not legal here. Of course, we're a very red state.
It's a shame.
Sadly, yeah. And there's, I know many people that it would help.
Yeah.
As a medicinal thing, but they can't get it, or they know somebody out of state and they can get it that way, you know. Yeah.
Well,
but
it's the same thing here in Texas. I mean, they do have a medical, but it's such a watered down product that, you know, it's helping, not helping as many people. It's more of a CBD than at any THC, which, you know, the THC and such will help with PTSD, and I controlled my ADHD with it forever.
Did you?
I don't have it down here because it is unlawful, and so you know, all I can do is lobby for it to be legal here, and until then, I can't afford legal troubles. I got grandbabies and stuff.
Right.
That's its own high by itself, you know.
Right.
But if they made it legal, I would give up my Jack Daniels. I promise.
Oh. As you participate with something now, do you have any things you've made that you want to show us? Anything else?
Oh, well, again, here's a recycled piece.
Clever.
Yeah, I call it pop music. That one I started in Utah. I've made like 40 of them, but I also number them, and they're numbered. Says 1 of 100 on that one. So I guess I still have to make like 60 more of them, you know, to complete the set. And then just
well, let me ask you, how do you make those, the pop music? Do you just weld the pieces together?
No, this pop music, it's a piece of wood,
right?
Which a friend had a cabinet shop, and so I would go up and dive in his dumpster and pull out pieces that were scrap, and I'd cut these out as a musical note. Then I'd just take the 12-pack labels.
Oh, it's the labels. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I just decoupage them on there and then seal it on afterwards.
Oh, cool.
I invented pop music.
Clever.
And then like some of these are, those were crates, labels off of fruit crates. And I went up north to pick up this Art Deco statue from this lady that I was purchased from. And when I got up there, she had a box of the fruit crate labels. And I'm like, well, what do you want for them? She goes, oh, $20. And so I bought them. I put them in frames, and I was selling them for $5 a piece. And nice. I bought the frames at like thrift stores and such, to where I never paid over $1 for a frame. And so, yeah, it's
very thrifty.
So clip art is another art that I do, and then like this one, I buy like magazines and take out the pieces, pictures. I think that came out of an old Life magazine, but it's advertising the Wurlitzer jukebox. So I do a little clip art too.
Okay. Well, somebody in the chat has asked, do you have, you did the pop music. Do you have one for rock music?
I have. I've taken actual stone, like the 18 by 18 or 12 by 12 stone tiles, pieces of granite, and actually cut out a rock, a music note out of rock. And yes, I invented rock music too.
Okay, Uncle Beck, he did. How about it?
I did heavy metal. I made a mold, and I went out to the shooting range and was sifting through the hill back behind there, pulling out all the lead. I brought the lead back, melted it down, and then poured it into my mold, which was a music note. So I invented heavy metal music that way. And I also took them bullets and was making peace signs out of them, which they were a good seller. You know, found a good use for bullets. I make them into peace signs. You know.
Gosh, John, you could have your own store easily with just your creations.
I don't know if I want that. It's
pressure. It's
when
stress.
when you make a love your job, it takes away some of the passion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see. I get that for sure.
I mean, I love building and such. I've done some really crazy building stuff. I'll show you a picture. I don't know if how good we'll get, but that's a fireplace that I done. It's Pan, mythological creature, half man, half goat.
How did you do that?
It was in a latex mold, poured it concrete. That thing's about 6 feet tall.
Wow.
From end of stash up to tip of horn. And it was silicone form. And then I poured the concrete. We took it out. I had bolts mounted into the concrete. Built an iron frame. The face went on that. There was a cement board put on, stuccoed, and then the rope coming up through the chimney. That was done out of EFS work, which styrofoam and stucco, basically.
Very creative. My goodness, John.
So that was probably kind of an overview of that when it was done.
Okay.
There was a glass room that I did next to it and such. It was a crazy doctor in Salt Lake that it was kind of weird how I got that job. I was building a pergola out front for him, and he comes to me and he's like, because I want to expand on the pergola, and I'm like, and I had a line of trellis that ran by it, so there was an area in between the two, and he's like, I want to connect them two, and I'm like, well, what do you suggest, Lonnie? And he's like, I don't know, get some metal hangers and just hang some. I'm like, why don't you get somebody else to do that for you? And he looked at me like I had just pissed in his Wheaties and took off, peeled out, and he called me up. He goes, you need to meet me at my office at noon. And the one thing about working for this doctor that everybody told me, getting hired by Lonnie is just a predecessor of being fired by Lonnie. I'm like, oh, whatever. So I told my boys, drag up everything. I'm going down to get fired, So the boys pulled off the job, and I walked in there, and he's tapping his pen on his desk. And he's like, oh, you make me so mad. You embarrassed me in front of people, and I can't believe you'd say that to me. I'm like, well, I'm not putting metal hangers on there. I'm like, I notched them beams. You can't tell how anything's attached on that, Lonnie. I'm like, it's all jointed. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm like, you got 2 other contractors on this job. Get either one of them to do it, because I know they will. And he's like, no, that's not what I want. He's like, because I need you to come up with an idea to do that, And he goes, and me and Shannon are getting married, and you're running my job. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, that's what I mean, And he wrote me a check for $10,000 on the spot, told me I'm running his job. If the other general contractors had any questions, I would answer them for them. If the designers, you're handling my job, because I trust you to do it right. And so his wedding and honeymoon went for about 30 days. He came back and he wrote me another check for $10,000, plus what, the work that we had done, the payment on it. So sometimes telling somebody to fuck off, you don't want to do something, ain't doing it, might come back to win you favor.
Well, it sounds like it did that time for you for sure. I've got a couple comments in, let's see. Have you heard of baby metal? I'd love to see what you do with that.
I don't even know what that is.
I think they were being facetious here. You wouldn't do that. Justin Bieber, music you could make out of recycled dog poop. Oh, for sure. The fireplace is pimp. I can't see that. My glasses aren't good. Not gonna lie, I guess they liked it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so
It's been a labor of love, you know.
you can tell in everything you do that it's part of your self-expression. I think if somebody tied your hands and told you you couldn't, you'd just really go bonkers, John.
I do it with my feet.
Yeah, true. You'd never give up. Do you ever do any container gardening, or is all of your gardening in?
No. Last fall or last spring, I think you saw the post on Facebook where I was tearing some timbers out off of the one side of the property, and then I turned them into flower boxes and such. And then all along the front of the house, there's probably I don't know, 200-300 feet of raised beds that I they're complete with flowers all the way through it. Nothing but flowers in front of the house.
And,
well,
you did the landscaping around the house, didn't you?
Yes.
I thought so. Yeah, I've seen you out pictures that you post. It looks like that's your work.
Yeah.
Lots of color and brilliance. Can you believe we've been talking for almost an hour already?
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you sharing your life, John. You're just quite an interesting guy.
It's been a pleasure to share it with you.
I think you're a man of many talents, and your love of what you're doing comes out in what you do with it. You can tell. And the pictures that I've seen with you and your grandkids is just precious to me. It's neat to see a grandpa so in love with his grandchildren and wanting to be a part of their life every day. I bet you even changed a few poopy diapers, haven't you?
I just yesterday I had her for the last 2 days all by myself during the daytime.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, you do it all. Well, good. That's wonderful to see. And I just want to say thank you for being a supporter of Vintage Explorer.
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to looking on the post to see if John's there today and what orneriness you have. And please keep posting those great pictures on Facebook of the flowers and the plants and the adventures you go on, because that really brings joy to other people's hearts too. You get to share your joy that way. Okay. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Kathy, for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. And John is just a great guy. I really appreciate him. I want to just make mention one more time that the 18th of September is Oz's Whiskey, Scotch, and Cigars. And that will be at 9:00. And let's see, what else is there? I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Also, reminder that the FFRF conference, please go just as a favor for me.
Where's that at, Kathy?
It's in San Antonio. Is that far from you?
That's about an hour from me.
Well, my grandson's going to be speaking there. Okay. So I would love it if somebody could go because it's a good conference to go to.
Okay.
But if I could fly, I would go out there, but I can't fly anymore because of my ears. So just to get a little clip of my grandson speaking, he just won some big award through FFRF. And thanks to our buddy Dave Warnock getting us all connected together has made it possible. And I'm just so proud of my Ethan. And so anybody that's out there for the conference can meet my grandson too. Let's see, anything else? Next week, we're off. We do this 2 Wednesdays a month, the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month. And our next show is undecided who's going to be here. I've had to have some schedule changes, so I will just surprise you all with a guest, or maybe I'll be my own guest. Who knows? You never know. But I really appreciate everybody and all the good comments, and like us and subscribe to us and help us get our membership going up a little bit more. And I hope you all have a very good day and week. And if you are familiar with how we close our show out, always be kind and never stop exploring. Okay? Take care.